shut my door. Hey, my Jujubes, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? It is Friday, and I'm so excited. Shut my door. Um, and I'm so glad to be here with you guys. I'm going to do this really quick video. It's probably not going to be quick, but maybe about 20-30 minutes. And I just have some spicy noodles. I need you to shut my door. It smells hot. So, how are you guys doing today? If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I would love it so much if you did. These look like they're going to be hot, so I don't know how this is going to go. Please shut my door. Nobody's listening to me. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off with Ethic 2. Okay. I was talking about Messiah, and I was talking about Morgan and how they are figuring out their love affair that they have going on, and how they hot, and how Messiah really can't live without Morgan. He's choosing not to live without Morgan, so they're gonna try to figure out how to work that out. So, like I said, they spend their days apart, but that midnight hour is reserved for each other. So, and then I went over to Alani. And how Alani told Kareem that she was with the man who killed their daughter unknowingly. So, let's go to the next person. This is something that is tragic in everybody's life, I think, in the whole entire book. The only person who I think doesn't really get the gist of it out is like Easy. He's the only one who doesn't really have any backlash, so to speak, from this thing that has been untangled since Morgan's birthday party. It's just been unraveling since then. It's not really Morgan's fault, but the decisions that she made that kind of led up to this just kind of like trickle down. Somebody did something to her in retaliation for what they did to her. Ethic did something to them. Accidentally did something to Alani. And it's just like trickling on down. So, the night when, the morning when Alani found out about what Ethic had did to Kenzie, of course, Bella was in the house. They didn't know she was awake, but she was there. So she heard it all. She heard everything that Alani had accused her father of doing. Now, mind you, Ethic has gone to great measure to make sure that the life that he lives outside of his home does not coincide with his home. He has made sure that he has taken all of the proper measures so that they don't cross paths. Like Ethic the father and Ethic the gangster, they two different people, and Bella hasn't seen Ethic the gangster before, and he doesn't plan on her. He hadn't planned on her actually seeing him. And so this is by pure accident that she even overheard this conversation. So, Ethic is one of those fathers who prides himself in teaching his daughters and his children about the everyday woes of life, those philosophies that he holds dear, like about a liar, it doesn't take time to manifest the truth, so you don't have to think about it. When somebody asks you a question, the first answer that come off their head, it should be the truth. If they got to pause or stall or deflect, then they lying. So she heard everything that happened in the kitchen, and she heard Alani say things like, "You made me love the man who took my daughter. You took her away from," basically insinuating that he was the one who terminated Kenzie. Bella couldn't understand why her daddy was apologizing because she just knows that her father couldn't have done something like that, especially not to a child. So now she's like in her room trying to bounce everything off of her mind. She's 12 years old. Her daddy has always been her knight in shining armor. You know, he kissed her boo-boos away, and he reads her bedtime stories when she doesn't feel well, and you know, he goes the extra mile to make sure she's okay. How could that man do the things that Alani is saying that he has done? And so she kind of waited up all night for her dad because she wanted to know if what Alani said he did he really do? Morgan wasn't there anymore because, of course, Morgan was gone off to school. So she just was kind of left to her own antics and her own thoughts, okay? She didn't really know, like, what to do. So because he didn't deny it, or he didn't tell Alani, like, don't say that kind of stuff, or I didn't do that, then Bella's thinking like, well, he must have done it. So she's in her room in the morning. It would be time for her to get ready to go to school, and they have a nanny. Her name is Lily. You probably gonna be here. I'm sorry. Excuse me. These are spicy, more spicy than I wanted them to be. I probably shouldn't have poured as much sauce on there. So if I ain't eating too much sauce, because they hot, they burn my mouth. So she is in her room waiting for her father to come home because she feels like she has to talk to him about this. Like, why is he letting this woman say the things that Alani is saying about him? So he comes, he knocks on her door, and he goes in, and Bella is now afraid, okay? Because, like, for 12 years, he's been, like I said, her knight in shining armor. And now, in just one blink of an eye, and in one situation, and from the mouth of one woman, she has heard that her dad has done something horrendous. And she just can't believe that her daddy did that. I'm like, no, not my daddy. Not my dad, So, he go in, he sit down, and she immediately asked him, like, did you do it, daddy? And then he like, did I do what? And so now Bella is like, deflection. Like, he's deflecting. Like, he taught me all the stuff on how to deflect to see if a person is a liar. And now I have to use these same tools that he has taught me on him. And he said, a man will answer you. This is what he told her. A man will answer you straight up. Truth is truth. It doesn't require time to manufacture, and it never changes. So if I'm telling you the truth, I don't have to think about it because I know the answer to what it is. So he feels like, other than Alani finding out what he has done, Bella is the next person who he will be devastated to find out what he has done. He feels like he's almost more devastated that she has found out than he was that Alani has found out, because, like I said, he prided himself in keeping those lives separate. Who I am in the streets, I don't want them to cross over at all. For goodness sake, Ethic he's not an everyday hustler. Like, he's completely out of the game. I mean, he got ties to it because of the people that he know, but he's out. So he tells Bella, like, it's complicated. And once he notices that she's afraid, and she's shaking, like literally shaking. And so when she found out, he never really said what he did, but she asked him, what did you do to Alani? Because, of course, you couldn't accuse him of what Alani was accusing him of. And she ran. And she left the house. And she kind of like took off running, jumped over a fence, because now she feels like she needs time to think. She don't know how to clear her mind. She just found out that her daddy is what another person would call a horrible person. And she just don't know what to do. So This is hot. I ain't gonna be able to finish these at all. But so he's calling her name, driving his car up and down the street. So she's trying to like hide behind something so that he can't find her. Mind you, they live in the suburbs of Michigan, Grand Blanc to be exact. And so it's like, where you about to go, Bella? Like you running away, but where you finna go? Where you finna go? You don't have no friends for real, like that's in this vicinity. Where you finna go? So she catches the bus to Alani's house. Now, I told you Alani is over on her side of the world, beaten up and bruised. She got handprints around her neck that Cream has put on there. She got a gash on the back of her head that he has given her. Her hair is chopped all up because she done cut it all up. She just down bad over there, okay? So after Cream left the first time, after he found out that she was with the man who killed their daughter, after he found out Lonnie was with the man that killed their daughter, he left the first time. He hasn't been back. So Alani like fell into a deep sleep or whatever, and all of a sudden she hears this banging, boom, 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 boom. She heard this banging like, oh my gosh, she thinking she just got a headache and thinking like, it's just the aftermath of, the scuffle and buffet that she done had with Cream. But it's Bella downstairs knocking at her door. So she puts her robe on and go downstairs and she opened her door and she's like, oh my God, Bella, what are you doing here? And, excuse me. It's hot, I can't eat no more. But she's, like, what did my daddy, basically, I didn't have anywhere else to go. You said that we could be friends, and I needed somebody to talk to. And I'm basically coming over here to ask if what you said my dad did he really do? Now, Lonnie being what I consider a very graceful woman, because she could have ruined Bella with the information that she has about what Ethic has done. But Alani, being a woman of grace and poise and a mother herself, she basically told Bella, like, your daddy is not, a bad guy. He just made a bad decision, basically. Like, he's not a person that does this repeatedly. He just did it this one time, and it was kind of like, madness and mayhem, so to speak. And then Bella notices the scars, the handprints on, Alani's neck. And she like, did my daddy do that to you? She's like, oh, no. Your daddy would never. And then she stopped herself because it's like, now the man who I thought he was, I don't even really know if that's who he is, because he did what he did to me, and my family, and took my sister, my brother, and my daughter. I don't know what he's capable of, really. Like, it's kind of like he pulled a facade over my eyes and had me thinking that he's like, God's gift to earth, which Ethic is. I'm just gonna say that. But he just made a mistake, So, but she tells her, like, what the man that the world will get will always be different than the man that you will get at home. He'll always love you and protect you, because that's just what real men do. And so in the midst of them talking, Cream comes back. And so Alani's like, oh my gosh, like, I have to get her out of here, because if he finds out that she's the daughter of the man who took our daughter, it's going to be fair in his mind. So when he comes in, he like, what's she doing here? He's a little under the influence or whatever. And who is this lie? And she like, oh, I mentor her at the church. And he like throwing insults like, oh, they let deadbeat mamas, mentor other little girls. Like, what you gonna teach her? Because he cut below the belt at this point. And so she's like, oh, she was just leaving. So she goes upstairs to get her phone and she gives it to Bella. And she's like, Bella, I want you to go down the street to the corner store and call your dad and have your dad come pick you up. Don't come back here. I don't care what you hear when I shut this door. I want you to just keep going. And she's like, okay. And so she goes down the street, and of course she calls her dad for her dad to come and pick her up, because Alani's like, I know your dad is worried about you. And I know you probably got a lot of people scared right now, so you need to go ahead and call your dad. So she goes and she calls her dad. So in the meantime, um, inside of the home, Cream is like, you need to sit down. We need to have a conversation. And she like, okay, now imagine she's scared. Okay, you just done hit me up before you left. You done bust my head to the white meat dang near. I got handprints around my neck. Like, I don't really know if I should sit down and have no conversation with you, sir. Granted, I understand your anger, but I don't really know if I want to, sit and have this conversation with you while you take out your anger on me. Like, I just don't know if I want to do that. So she's apprehensive, of course, but what other choice does she have? So she sits down at the table. He was like, I found out who it was who, did what they did to my daughter. And what I find very peculiar about it is that every time I go looking for him, I can't never find him. It's like he disappeared off the face of the earth. He was like, so you know what I'm thinking, La? Like, I think you are warning him. And she like, what? Like, I'm not warning him. Like, and she hasn't. She hasn't warned anybody. He was like, every time I send somebody looking for that guy, Messiah, I can't ever find him. And she like, who? Because now she don't even know who that is. Like, who is that? Like, I have no idea who Messiah is. Now, the streets kind of made it seem as though Messiah was the one who killed, I don't know, but who took care of Lucas, when in actuality it was not Messiah. But because Messiah and Lucas had like a little bit of street beef with each other prior to, it's just easier for the streets to assume that that's who it was, but it really wasn't him. And so she's like, oh, he don't even know it's Ethic. And so in her mind, like I said, she was like, oh, I just won't say nothing. Like, maybe I won't correct it, and maybe it'll just go to fly the way that it fly. So he basically was like, I can't believe you, but don't worry about it because I'm going to find him and I'm going to catch him slipping. So she goes back. So then that's that. So then we going to go over to, no, we're not going to do it that way. So, he leaves, and then he basically say like, oh, I'm going to figure out, where he is, and I'm going to take care of it. So we're going to go to Messiah now. So then Messiah is, of course, like I said, he's a man of many trades. He trying to figure out how to be the king of the streets, but at the same time, love on Lil Morgan, okay? So it's a group of them together. It's Messiah, Issa, and Amik. So my next video, I'm going to put their candles in the video too, because they are a part of this series. But, so Issa is like, Messiah's best friend, and Amik is too. They kind of like all grew up, not kind of, well, they all grew up together, and they all got a real nice little bond. And so they discuss a lot of business with each other, and I think it's crazy because when they do discuss business, they do it in it's like a massage parlor, like a steam room place, like a spa place, because he's trying to make sure that nobody has access to him. So they discuss business in there, and they discussing they business, how the semis go up and down the highway. And so when the semis go up and down the highway, Messiah, their business is basically robbing the semis. And so they robbing anything and everything that comes up and down the highway, whether it be, illegal substances, whether it is, legal substances like, drugs for doctor's offices, anything you can name that's coming up and down those trucks. The three of them are robbing them. So they all have, they do it on Thursday nights, usually on their bikes, okay? And I'm sorry. So that's what they discussing right now. So let's go back. We'll go back to, I don't like to jump like this. I need to figure out how I wait not to. But so that's what their discussion is right now. So basically him deciding to take on these new semis to take over messes up the time that him and Morgan has in the middle of the night. So he trying to figure out how he can still be with Morgan, but at the same time still handle business like he normally handles business. But he felt like, money is money and I can't give up my money, so I'm gonna figure out what I gotta do at a later point. So then we go back to Alani, and she's at home and she hears another knock on the door, and she like, oh my gosh, like enough is enough. She brought her safety net with her, that is Smith and Wesson. She brought it with her, but it's a 45, okay? And she opens up the door, and this time it's Ethic, and he like, Bella came home and she's really afraid, and I think that she told me that something's going on over here, that she saw bruises on you, and I just had to make sure it was okay. Like, I know you don't mess with me like that, and I know we on the outs, but I had to make sure she okay. I had to make sure it was safe. And she was like, and that's what you, he like, just please open the door, because I need to know. So she tried to crack the door a little bit so that he could see her, but not a lot. And so he was like, can you open the door? And she like, I'm like, no, because if he get in, he gonna see the scars on her neck and everything that's going on with her head. So when he finally get in, she finally opens up the door and lets him in. And when he let her in, he said it's like a gut punch. Like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody done, messed up with my baby. Like, I know I messed up with her, but y'all can't be out here doing this to my baby. So he sees the things around her neck, and then he sees like the bandage hanging from her head. And he like, first he asks like, can I touch you, baby? And she like, and he like, I'm doing it anyway. But I need to know what's going on. So he grabs her and he takes the scarf off her hair, and he sees the bandage on the back of her head, and he like, what is going on? So one of my other favorite lines of the book, he asked her like, hey, did you tell him goodbye when he left? And she like, why? He's like, because that's it. That's the last time you're going to see him, because I'm putting him in the dirt. And so he is like mad that, Cream even did what he did, but at the same time, like I said, he understands the malice that's behind it, because his daughter's gone and you're responsible for it, so yeah, eye for an eye, kid for a kid, whatever you want to call it. I'm out in the streets about mine, just like you would be about yours, just like he was about Morgan, which is why all of this thing even happened. So she told him like, I'm fine, you don't have to come and check on me no more, like I don't want you to get involved, like if you have the man that you said you was gonna be, then please just go ahead and go. So he leaves. And she goes, of course, back into her cage. Cream is out in the streets trying to figure out where he can find Messiah, because Messiah is the one who he thinks took care of his daughter. And that's a whole nother case. So Messiah, I'm gonna stop here because this video is gonna be long if I don't stop. Maybe I'll go a few more minutes. So Morgan is at school, and she's so infatuated with Messiah. She wants to, basically she wants to pull herself into him. She want to live with him. She want to be with him, breathe with him. If she could be his body with him, she would be his body with him. So she's at school. She's not focused because she done sent him a couple text messages and he's not really answering, and she hasn't heard from him all day. So she's trying to figure out what's going on. So she's distracted in her class. And while she's in this class, we meet Bash. Now, I don't like Bash, okay, y'all? I don't. He started off as like a smooth talking, space filler type of guy, the type of guy that kind of run up on you when you and your relationship's kind of on the outs. He say the right thing, but it's just something weird about him. And that's Bash. I'm not too fond of Bash. But we meet Bash because she's so distracted in class that he has to kind of like call her out and ask her definition of love. And so he kind of like a little flirtatious with her. Now, he is older than her. Significantly older, kind of like Messiah. He might be a little older than Messiah, to be honest with you. And so they don't really kind of spark nothing immediately because she too tied up with Messiah. Like, oh, I got a man. You can't even talk to me. No, you can't sit next to me. You can't sweep nothing me because I got a man. She got a man. Her man ain't rap tight. So she like, I'm not even finna, like, I ain't even finna do that. So, in the midst of that, they wind up, having a little bit of conversation, and he tell her that how pretty she is and that she needs to focus more on his class or whatever. And so then she leaves there and she goes to a dance studio. Now, mind you, Morgan being born deaf, she's always kind of been like the deaf dancer. So she feels like she has that advantage because she can hear now. She still dance at offbeat so good that people still kind of feel like, oh my gosh, she got some real good choreography, because she dances offbeat. But I'm going to stop there and then I'm going to pick up tomorrow and we going to finish through book 2. Like I said, book 2 is heavy. It's real heavy. It got a lot of like woes in here. So this is just light right now, but tomorrow we probably going to be like boom. And yeah. So if you are new here, again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with anybody and everybody that you know. And until next time, bye, my jujubes.